I am beating every N64 game, and I mean all of them. The twist is, the next game I play is randomly selected, so I have no clue what's coming next. This is the journey to beating every N64 game. Game number 225, Namco Museum 64. Released in 1999, this game was developed by Mass Media and published by Namco. This is the second and last arcade compilation on the console. We played Midway's greatest arcade hits back at Game 187. I personally didn't recognize many of those games going into that, but Namco is much more well known to me. I mean, it has Pac-Man, the king of all old arcade games. I did have some kind of Namco Museum game on the PS1 growing up, but I can't really remember which it was. All I know is I played tons of Dig Dug on it. These compilation carts are weird for a challenge like this because it's multiple games in one, but I just consider it as a single N64 game, you know? I'll always say, it's sad to see the state of arcades in the US. At least they're thriving in Japan. Let's get into it. When you boot the game up, there's a very basic main menu with the 6 games you can play. Well, that's kinda bland. You've got Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Galaga, Galaxian, Pole Position, and Dig Dug. I decided to do a little nostalgia trip and draw which game to play using the old method. Y'all remember this? Alright, we got 6 games on the list. Let's see what we're playing next. 3, 2, 1, go! 1! What's that? Oh, chat, we're playing Pac-Man! No way! Pac-Man! That's right, we're starting with some classic Pac-Man. You can just give yourself infinite credits, which is kinda neat. However, credits don't help you at all. Putting in a credit just gives you 3 lives to start with. You don't, like, keep your run going or anything like that. So, yeah, y'all know Pac-Man, right? You're the old yellow guy, and you move around the maze and eat the dots while avoiding the ghosts. Getting a power pellet in one of the corners turns them blue and you can eat them. There are tunnels on the side you can use to warp across, but it can get scary. I faked myself out here and lost my first life. Once all the dots are eaten, the level ends. And then you immediately go to the next level. Upon reaching 10,000 points, I obtained an extra life. Nice! You only get one 1-up throughout an entire playthrough though. That's honestly kinda wild. As you progress further through the levels, the time that the ghosts are blue decreases. It starts to get scarier and scarier as the ghosts close in. Just like that, it's easy to find yourself in an unwinnable position. Other times you can find a narrow escape path. It feels so good when that happens. After beating level 2, there's a little cutscene showing Pac-Man becoming giant and chasing the ghosts. How can I do that? Now, you may be wondering, wait a second, how's this guy gonna beat Pac-Man? That game never ends. Well, actually, there's a kill screen when the game runs out of memory, but forget about that. An easy thing is to say, oh, just beat the high score. But, well, the high score in this starts at 0, so that doesn't really work. If you look at the bottom right, you can see the fruit there? Yeah, you gain a new one for each level you beat. Also, the fruit that spawns in the level changes as you progress too. There are only so many of these, and it culminates in a key. Once you beat the key level, it just kinda loops back forever. So I decided I need to beat the key level to beat Pac-Man. Yeah, we definitely didn't win on the first attempt. Died on level 4. Is that just a second orange? Well, back to the start. With moves like this, we may be here a while. Oh shoot, we made it to the apple level for the first time. Upon beating the apple level, there's a new cutscene where the ghost falls. How embarrassing. That's Blinky. The pink one is Pinky, the cyan one is Inky, and the orange one is... Clyde? Really? They couldn't think of something else? At level 6, the power pellet time kinda resets. I always thought it was weird that it goes back to being super long just for that one level. Then it goes back to being super short right after it. What even is this green thing at level 7? Apparently it's a melon, but I don't know, it kinda looks like a grenade. I wonder what actually happens when Pac-Man touches the ghosts. Like, is it painful? I mean, he does die, so that's not good. Did you know that the ghosts actually have set patterns on how they move? This is where I was going to look up their movement patterns and explain them to you, but, well, I see some people putting it in simple terms with just a few words, while others are writing whole articles about the movement pattern. Basically, this game behaves entirely predictably, but yeah, I do know that Blinky will always try to chase you. After nearly an hour of play, I finally got past level 7. This game is actually so hard. I never really tried to get far in Pac-Man. Like, sure, I've played it, but I just never tried to push it. I was kind of just winging it. It felt really cool to get clutch escapes though. It gets really exciting. Unfortunately, I game overed on level 9. I believe that is the Galaxian. I don't think it's edible though. I'll take this time to talk about the graphics and audio. The graphics suck! This might be the worst looking N64 game I've ever seen. Nah, but really, it's just the old arcade games. There's not really much to talk about there. For reviewing the actual N64 game itself, there's nothing really here other than the old games. The menu was incredibly basic. For the audio, there was a unique song it played at the starting screen, so I guess that's something. It was so loud. I discovered in the pause menu there's a way to adjust the dip switch. This is how they changed game settings back in the day. The big thing here is you could adjust the starting lives up to 5. Oh, there's also built-in tips. Take it from the devs themselves. Blinky chases, Pinky ambushes, Inky scares easily, and Clyde isn't very smart. Yeah, thanks, that tells me a lot. The other tips are all really basic, although I learned you make sharper turns when ghosts are nearby. I didn't know that. After about 2 hours of grinding, I finally made it past the Galaxian level. We see the third cutscene where it seems that Blinky is some kind of worm parasite or something. What on earth is going on? I never knew about this. Turns out, on the second Galaxian level, the power pellet timer resets back to being long again, so this one's a free clear. Is that a bell? Never imagined I'd play Pac-Man this long. Yeah, that didn't last long. Dang man, this is actually so hard. I was over 3.5 hours in at this point, still never passed that first bell level. I did develop this pattern for the start though that allowed me to clear out most of the bottom for free. I'm also remembering that Billy Mitchell himself was streaming Pac-Man at the same time as me. Unfortunately, I didn't get a raid from the King of Kong himself. Now this pattern is really cool. It clears out over half the board with no danger once you've made it to the second apple level. Now I know what you're thinking. Hey, this pattern's awfully complex. How did you think of such a thing?
That's right, we're gonna cheat.
Yeah, I know, but like, I knew something like this had to exist. There are people who crash the game by making it run out of memory. There has to be some consistent way to win, so I looked into it. Unfortunately, I either sucked too much to do it properly, or whatever emulation this N64 version of Pac-Man is running doesn't do it correctly. Either way, I could only get it to clear out so much of the area. I had to do the rest the old-fashioned way. You know what I think is wild about those runs? It lasts several hours, and there's just no way I could not go to the bathroom for that long. Genuinely impossible. Something was definitely off about the emulation though. I just clipped through Pinky there. That was so weird. Okay, 4.5 hours in, and I've made it to the second bell level. Only one to go, and there it is. The key! Only have 1 life left though. You really hate to see it. There are literally 12 dots left on this entire thing, and well, back to the start we go. And I threw it away at level 12 again. It's been 5 hours, man. I can't believe I'd been playing basic old Pac-Man for 5 hours. As I show myself finally beating the key level, I had a thought. So this game crashes after you beat level 255, right? It's the kill screen. The top players have patterns to get the maximum amount of points on every single level up to that point. Eat every fruit that spawns as well as eat 4 ghosts each time you eat a power pellet. This gives you the most points you could possibly get. But what about the lowest possible score? Never eat any fruit, never eat any ghosts? I wonder if anyone's attempted to get the lowest score at the kill screen. I couldn't find anything online about it, although I don't really know where to look. Maybe that could be a cool challenge to spice the game up for veteran players. I actually beat one more level. You can see it just keeps looping over and over with key levels after that first one. So by beating level 13, I considered Pac-Man to be beaten for the purpose of this challenge. Alright, 1 game down, 5 to go, let's see what was next. Could be any of them. 3, 2, 1, go! 2? What's that? Oh! We're playing Galaga! Ah, Galaga. What a great game. We had a cabinet of this at my local bowling alley growing up, and it got some serious use. Just shoot the bad guys as they come in. It's so fun. When the leadership comes down, they can send out a tractor beam. Oh no, I was captured. This is so tragic. They have no idea I actually wanted to get captured. As you can tell, I didn't read the tips and tricks section because I would have known that I need to shoot the ship as it's flying in. If I shoot it while it's stopped, my captured ship becomes an enemy. Okay, let's try this again. That's better. Now I've got a double ship. Fun fact, you can keep chaining this to get as many ships as you want. If you get too many, it can't fit and it crashes the game. Nah, I completely made that up. I'm a big liar. 2 is the max. But yeah, you just shoot the enemy ships. When all are gone, you go to the next level. Level 3 is a challenge stage. Enemies fly in with various patterns and they won't shoot at you here. If you can kill all 40 perfectly, then you get a bonus 10,000 points. The markers in the bottom right tell you what stage you're on. At stage 5, they all consolidate into a single one. By the way, how do we beat Galaga? Well, the game runs infinitely, so that's not really a good plan. This one did have a high score, but it was only 20,000. That's so easy. It didn't seem like there was any great semblance of progress like in Pac-Man with the key, so I just said, hey, 100,000 points, that's my goal. That seems pretty challenging, right? I'm not sure what happened here on level 9, but one of the enemies that looks like a bee started blinking, and it turned into these 3 green ships. I don't remember ever seeing that before. Pretty cool when you reach stage 10, the level marker just turns into this blue and yellow emblem. Unfortunately, I didn't one-shot my goal. Wow, so bad. Didn't beat it on the first try. Yeah, I have a lot more experience in this than Pac-Man. Dude, in these later levels, they go so fast. Well, they get faster as you kill more of them, I guess. It's crazy. The problem with the double ship is your hitbox is just so big. Like, sure, your DPS is through the roof, but it doesn't really feel worth it. You have to lose a life to get it set up, so like, I don't know. It's just intentionally dying to me. What in the world am I supposed to do here? There are like 500 guys flying in at me shooting. This is literally unbeatable. The challenge ends here. It took like 45 minutes or so, but I got the 100,000 points after beating stage 15. Whoa, I've literally never seen this enemy in my life. This must be the furthest I've ever gotten in Galaga. At level 20, my level marker changed to a purple crown. I'm sure there's like some max level marker you can reach, but like, I don't know. It felt a bit out of the scope of this challenge. Like if it goes up to 100 or something, that's too much. All in all, I made it to level 22 with 138,000 points. Not too shabby if I do say so myself. Only 4 games to go. Let's see which is next. 3, 2, 1, go. 3? What's that? Oh, we are playing pole position. That's right. Pole position. Don't know too much about this one. So it seems this game is letting you race an F1 car, or at least it looks like one. And let me tell you, I was not doing so hot here. The way the screen just kind of scrolls in towards you does not exactly feel good on my eyes. I was supposed to be braking for turns, and it looks like I didn't get the memo. I ran out of time, and I guess that's it. Well, I don't think I won. There are billboards all along the sides of the track, which honestly seems dangerous for a race. If you hit them, you just explode. Oh my god, that's wild. At least I can start driving again as if nothing actually happened. Apparently I was fast enough this time to qualify for the real race. Oh, I didn't even know we were doing a qualifier. I started in 8th place. So now there are actually a bunch of other cars here. Well, I feel like I definitely need to win the race to be able to say I beat pole position, right? I don't think this level of driving is going to achieve it though. This time, instead of ending at the lap, it gave me more time to keep racing. I wonder how long it goes. Turns out the signs aren't the only things that are dangerous. If you so much as bump another car, you're done for. Also, I'm sorry, is that a puddle on the track? What kind of garbage racing league is this? Hakkinen would never find himself here. I ran out of time and that's the end of it. I was first place on the leaderboard, but come on, I've gotta win the race. That was too easy. Qualifying in first would certainly help. I was in 4th here and well, at least I took out the first place guy with me. There we go. Qualified in 3rd place. And immediately passed the other 2 dudes. You can switch gears between low and high, but I'm pretty sure I just stayed in high the entire time. What's with all these other cars here? Don't they know there's a race going on? This is so dangerous. The best way I found to turn was just kind of tap the turn over and over so you don't oversteer. The actual arcade cabinet had a steering wheel, but all I've got is this joystick. Seriously though, these other cars are so annoying. Feels like I'm playing Crazy Taxi here. Gotta perform like 20 crazy throughs to have a chance. Who's driving this thing anyway? I just see a yellow blob, so I'm gonna say it's Pac-Man. Only took a little over 15 minutes of grinding, and I won the race. That wasn't so bad. I had 5 seconds to spare too. even with one crash. There only seems to be one track in the game, so I guess that's it. Pole position has been beaten. Only 3 to go, let's see what's next. Random number selection. We got 3 games left on the list. It could be any of them. Let's see what it is. 3, 2, 1, go. 3! What's that? We are playing Dig Dug. No way, gamers. Wow. Wow, this one even has a difficulty setting in the dip switches. Well, it was on normal by default, so that's what I went with. Dig Dug, my personal favorite game on this compilation. A very strange game where you play as a guy named Taizo who seems to be wearing some kind of protective suit and has a red harpoon gun. He has to pop all the pukas and figars. Why? Well, I don't know, but he's gonna do it. Once all enemies have either been killed or ran away, the level ends and you go to the next. You'd think everything has to move through the tunnels, but no, the enemies can just kind of phase through walls. That's cheating. At level 5, the color of the dirt changes. It's crazy, I'm telling you. We don't know how good we have it with games nowadays. Going from ball in a cup to this was probably mind-blowing. Long before I played League of Legends and had to kite backwards as ADC, I was doing it in Dig Dug as a young lad. It gets really scary when they're all chasing you like that. Here in level 10, I show how you can crush an enemy by dropping a rock on them. It gives significantly more points than the standard harpoon popping. Also, the ground has changed color once again. My kiting skills weren't good enough though, and I had my first death. So how do we beat Dig Dug? Well, the high score is only 10,000, which is like free. I decided I'd perform one full loop, basically when the game just resets. On level 12, I remembered the quick kill tech. Basically, you're supposed to attach the harpoon gun to them, then continue pressing the pump, which takes so many frames in between pumps. But if you move forward a bit, you can send the harpoon out again to get another pump much quicker. Rinse and repeat until they're dead. Also, the figars breathe fire, so it's much harder to approach them horizontally. That was my ultimate demise. Another good thing about the quick kill is it makes it a lot easier to take out multiple of them at once. With normal pumping, this would have easily been a death. The figars can be especially dangerous because these thin walls don't stop their fire. That's an annoying way to die. Not even the quick kill tech is enough when they're piled up in a mass like this though. The real way to build score is drop 2 rocks in a level to spawn a vegetable. In this case, an eggplant. It's scary to do though because you have to avoid killing the enemies to have enough time to do it. So apparently a full loop only goes to level 12. Oops. I guess this is the second time I beat Dig Dug. Well, I was having fun playing it anyway. In fact, I made it all the way to level 20. Not too bad. There's not a lot of unique stuff to do here, but I think it's a fun game. I like how it tells you to go for the world record now. How would anyone know what that is back in the day? Let's see what the next game is. 3, 2, 1, go. 2. Oh, we are playing Galaxian. Galaxian. Don't think I've ever played this one. It's kind of like the Galaga we have at home. You move slower, shoot slower, and the enemy patterns are less complex. The purple enemy kind of looks like Crobat. What happens when you kill all the enemies? Well, they spawn in and you get to do it all over again. I assume maybe they get faster or shoot more often or something as you get farther. So how do we beat Galaxian? Well, this game seems to have the least sense of progression of all. Looking up the speedrun of this game, they play until obtaining 5,000 points to get an extra life. Oh, look at that. I already did it after playing for about 3 minutes. I died on level 6 with 12,920 points. I beat it, I guess? I don't know, this is the worst game in this compilation, especially considering Galaga's here too. Alright, one final game to go. Let's see what the randomizer rolled next. Let's find out what we're playing next. Could be anything. 3, 2, 1, go. 1? What's that? Oh my god, we're playing Miss Pac-Man. No way. Wow, we got Miss Pac-Man. What are the odds? Okay, so this was weird for me. My local Pizza Hut had Miss Pac-Man, and it was during this playthrough that I learned I was not playing the normal Miss Pac-Man back then. Turns out, it was common to have some kind of turbo mod installed on Miss Pac-Man cabinets, and I guess my Pizza Hut as a kid had one of those. I went all these years thinking this game was just Pac-Man, but way faster. How wrong I was. So what's different? Well, the color, obviously, and Miss Pac-Man looks different. The fruits bounce into the room instead of being in a static location like the other game. The maze layouts are quite different, especially with there being 4 tunnels instead of just 2. Also, the orange ghost is now Sue instead of Clyde. And the sounds are all completely different. I like the sounds in this better, but it's probably just because it's what I remember from that Pizza Hut. Man, remember when that place was cool with the buffet and the cool lamps over the tables? I miss that place. Oh yeah, the cutscenes are a lot different too, as you'd expect. We get to see how Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man met each other. Naturally, being chased by ghosts, it was love at first sight. As a consequence of the maze layout being different, the patterns I learned are worthless here. Hopefully this won't be even harder than the regular Pac-Man. Oh yeah, there's now a pretzel added to the fruit rotation. Pretzels are my favorite fruit. After beating level 5, we see the second cutscene, the chase. Is this what they do for fun or something? I guess tag is kind of fun. I honestly have no clue how I didn't die here. Watching this back, it looks like a task. Looks like the hand grenade now looks more like a pear this time. Also, there's now a banana introduced. Actually, I think this banana is the last fruit in the game. There's no key like in the original. Unlike Pac-Man, there doesn't seem to be any perfect pattern here. There's a lot more unpredictability with the ghosts. However, I think the maze designs allow you to escape them much better than in Pac-Man. There's more opportunity to make a good play. However, the bottom of this particular maze layout is a disaster. If you go down there when a ghost is anywhere near the same zip code as you, it's over. No way to dodge it. So, how do we beat Miss Pac-Man? Well, since the fruits stopped changing so quickly, I decided seeing the final cutscene was how I'd win. And this is it right here. After you beat the banana level like 3 times, you see Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man had a kid. How adorable. On the next maze, the cherry comes back and the fruits start coming out in succession. So yeah, 6 games beaten. Sort of. None of these truly end, but I ain't getting any kill screens. There's not really anything interesting in this aside from playing the games themselves. But yeah, that's about all there is for this one. Game complete. So yeah, there you have it. My journey to beating Namco Museum 64. I think the games included with this are pretty fun, but the overall game itself is a bit disappointing. Reminds me of those old jank 6-in-1 cartridges you'd find at the flea market for the NES. Midway Arcade's greatest hits had the arcade trivia, and they at least made some kind of cool room for you to explore to play each game. I personally like these Namco games much better than the Midway ones though. My favorite's probably Dig Dug, followed by Miss Pac-Man, then Galaga, then Pac-Man, Pole Position in 5th, and finally Galaxian. I did not like that game. And I definitely learned something playing this in that I was playing a hacked version of Miss Pac-Man as a kid. Overall, there are far better ways to experience these games, and the N64 version doesn't really have anything unique worth seeing. Still, I had a good time. I gave Namco Museum 64 a 6.5 out of 10 for enjoyability and a 7.5 out of 10 for difficulty. Pac-Man was tough, what can I say? Alright, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed. We had a randomized marble race to determine which game was next, so here's how that played out. Or skip to the timestamp on screen to skip straight to the game selection. There are 166 games left on the list. We're at the Aurora Borealis. We got Army Men, Sarge's Heroes 2, and Last Legion UX, and Glover. But only one game will win. Let's see what it is. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, they are off down the Heart Pachinko machine. Hideyosuke no Mahjong Juku in the lead. Fushigi no Dungeon trying to get through as well. We got a little roadblock here, and it's Mario no Fotobi, the first one out. Not even a game, it's just an app, but we have to play it. Puyo Puyo in, Party Earthworm Jim 3D, Aiden Chronicles, Tigger's Honey Hunt as well. And we're coming into the next roadblock here. Mario no Fotobi going to destroy that cube, but it is just not moving. Will anybody sneak by this carnage? And it's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 currently in the lead now. Tony Hawk 3 is in the lead, and this is just going to be a lot of lead changes, it appears. We got Tigger's Honey Hunt in the lead now. South Park Rally right behind Rainbow Six, I see as well. Automobile Lamborghini. There's Buck Bumble, and we got another cube shattering, and it is a complete bottleneck. Who's going to come out? And Fighter's Destiny 2, perhaps, is the first one. Top Gear, Hyperbike, International Track and Field, Mario Kart 64 coming out, Hybrid Heaven, Hexen as well. And another cube coming in, folks. Who's going to sneak past? It is just complete bottleneck. They're all trying to get out, and it's impossible to tell. There are just too many marbles. It's definitely not Banjo-Tooie, though. I don't think Banjo-Tooie is going to win. Fox Sports, College Hoops, Yosuke no Mahjong, Chuku Buck, Bumble, Hybrid Heaven, and we're coming into the next cube. And there is one more. Oh, Hybrid Heaven sneaks past the wreckage. Hybrid Heaven taking a commanding lead. Cruising USA right behind. Battle Tanks 2 there as well. And Hybrid Heaven, the clear favorite right now. Snuck past the debris. What a play by Hybrid Heaven. But Hybrid Heaven appears to be getting slowed down, and Rugrats is coming through now. And nobody's sneaking by this time. This is the final cube. And Last Legion, you have potentially any game could win right now, chat. As soon as this cube despawns, it is anybody's game. And here we go. I see Dobutsu no Mori, Shin Nippon Pro Wrestling, Neon Genesis Evangelion, a lot of Japanese games, Hybrid Heaven. I am mistaken. There is another cube, and I think this is a portal coming up. I don't know what the heck just happened. This portal appears to have brought the games through, and it's the next Rugrats game. I have no idea what happened there. What is going on with this? Are these just going to die? I think these are all dead. Oh no. Okay. I'm not sure what was up with that map, but we are playing the next Rugrats game, which is Rugrats Scavenger Hunt. It has been decided. But yeah, if you're still here watching, you're awesome. Thank you so much. If you had a good time, consider hitting that like button, or maybe even dropping a subscription. Or hey, maybe even watch another one of these videos that's on screen now. And yeah, see you next time.